Saudi Arabia's foreign minister announced the severing of diplomatic ties with Iran and asked all Iranian diplomats to leave within 48 hours. Police say the Tel Aviv gunman is still on the loose, armed and dangerous, and could strike again. And 6 people are dead after a powerful earthquake hits India and is felt as far away as Bangladesh. Hello and welcome to I-24 News. I'm David Matlett here in the Jaffa Port of Israel. Well, Saudi Arabia's foreign minister announced Sunday the severing of diplomatic ties with Iran and asked all Iranian diplomats to leave within 48 hours. The Saudi foreign minister said the attacks that Iranian protesters carried out on the Saudi diplomatic mission in Iran late Saturday were a violation to international agreements. The minister accused the Iranian authorities of not taking any measures to prevent the attacks. Iranian protesters stormed the Saudi embassy against the Saudi execution of 47 individuals over terrorism charges, including a prominent Shiite cleric.
We are determined not to allow Iran to undermine our security. We are determined not to let Iran mobilize or create or establish terrorist cells in our country or in the countries of our allies.
Well, U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on Sunday criticized Saudi Arabia's beheading of the Shiite cleric. Well, she told a campaign rally in New Hampshire that the execution was, quote, not a smart decision, close quote, and that it will inflame the region even more.
We have to keep doing everything we can to try to influence their behavior because personally, I think this is counterproductive for them. If they were trying to send a strong message, they were going to stand against internal dissent, terrorist behavior, this will inflame the region even more, and I think cause even more dissent and more upheaval within Saudi Arabia. So even in the short and medium term, I don't think it was a smart decision for them to make, and I will criticize them publicly about that.
Well, now, according to police, the gunman who shot up a bar in Tel Aviv Friday, killing 2, fled the scene on foot, hailed a cab, and rode to North Tel Aviv, where he murdered the driver before abandoning the vehicle. Police believed releasing Mashat Melham's name and picture would raise public awareness, while the Internal Security Service preferred to conduct the search in a more discreet manner. Security officials have expressed concern over the fact that the suspect's whereabouts are not yet known. Now, our correspondent, Tal Heinrich, is in Tel Aviv at the scene of the attack here. Tal, good morning to you. First, what are the police saying at this point with the gunman still on the loose?
Good morning, David. So I'm standing over here nearby Hasim Tabar, where 3 days ago the shooting scene took place, and the police within the last 24 hours were revealing some more details that shed more light on his escape route. And this is what I want to show to you and to our viewers. As it seems, he was heading from this place where he sprayed the bullets to the people that were sitting celebrating a certain birthday at this bar. He was heading north on Dizengoff Street, going this direction. And as far as the police know, he took a right at a certain point, started running to Evan Gvirol Street, where he took the taxi of Ayman Shaban, the Arab-Israeli taxi driver who he also murdered at a certain Israeli suburb nearby a certain hotel called Mandarin Hotel, where he left the body and he took the taxi. He continued to drive several more meters, where he also got rid of the taxi, and this is where his traces were last seen. But another important detail that was revealed in the past day is that his cell phone was found in Ramat Aviv, which is a northern suburb of Tel Aviv. It was found by a student. She took the cell phone home. She showed her the phone to her father, and after a few hours, they realized that this cell phone might have a certain connection to the manhunt and the police investigation that is still ongoing after they received several text messages and phone calls in Arabic. So they gave the cell phone to the police, and this is indeed proven to be Nashat Melham's cell phone. And so this manhunt, as you said, is still ongoing. You can definitely feel the enhanced security forces presence here around the city and the heavily charged atmosphere as well, because parents still worry of sending their children to school because this manhunt might still continue a few more days. Police are setting roadblocks, going house to house, searching for clues, and they're basically waiting for Nashat Melhem to make a certain mistake or for a golden clue to lead them to the suspect.
Yeah, we'll still wait for those clues. That's right. Thank you very much, Tal Heinrich, our correspondent standing by at the scene of the attack in Tel Aviv. Well, Islamic State militants released a video featuring a man and a young boy speaking with British accents, purportedly showing the killing of 5 men who it says were spying for the UK. In the 10-minute film, the masked jihadi militant holding a gun threatens attacks in the UK, mocks British Prime Minister David Cameron, and threatens that he will, quote-unquote, invade their land. I-24 News has more.
The Islamic State group has once again threatened to attack Britain. A new video released on Sunday claims to show the killing of 5, quote, spies. IS says we're working together with the US-led international coalition. In the footage, an English-speaking fighter mocks British Prime Minister David Cameron for challenging the Islamic State.
How strange it is that we find ourselves today hearing an insignificant leader like you challenge the might of the Islamic State. How strange it is that a leader of a small island threatens us with a handful of planes. In fact, David, you are more of an imbecile.
British warplanes, which were already carrying out strikes against IS in Iraq, last month began targeting the jihadists in Syria as well. The 10-minute-long video features 5 men from the city of Raqqa, the capital of the self-declared jihadist caliphate, who confess to carrying out acts of espionage. This before they are shot dead by masked terrorists. After they are killed, a young boy speaking with a British accent appears on screen. The UK's Foreign Office said it is examining the footage, which has not yet been independently verified. This latest propaganda video comes after the Islamic State suffered a major setback in Iraq, having just last week lost the city of Ramadi after months of intense clashes with Iraqi forces.
At least 6 people were killed and dozens injured Monday when a strong 6.7 magnitude earthquake struck northeast India, sending residents fleeing into the streets and even hundreds of kilometers away in Bangladesh. Well, India's National Disaster Management Authority said buildings had been damaged in Imphal, the capital of Manipur state, where the quake was centered. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake hit at 4:35 a.m., 29 kilometers northwest of Imphal.
Everybody has come out into the open. Everyone who has 2- or 3-story houses are here, and everybody is scared now.
I was at home when the earthquake struck, and soon after I came here to help with treating the injured.
Well, in the U.S. state of Oregon, members of an armed militia stormed a national wildlife building following a protest in support of ranchers facing jail time for arson. I-24 News reporter Maya Margit has more.
A group of armed protesters have occupied a U.S. government building in Oregon. The reason? To show their support for Dwight Hammond and his son Stephen, cattle ranchers who were convicted of arson in 2012, but who have been ordered to return to jail on Monday after a court ruled their original sentences were too lenient. In response, militia members have camped out at a national wildlife refuge, lighting fires and draping an American flag over the building.
It is the people's facility, owned by the people, and it has been provided for us to be able to come together and unite in making a hard stand against this overreach, this taking of the people's land and resources.
Amin Bundy said the occupiers were not looking to hurt anyone, but would also not rule out violence if police attempt to remove them. The protesters are angry about the prosecution of the Hammonds, ranchers who set fire to government land years ago in order to protect their property from wildfires. Bundy, a rancher himself, drove all the way from Nevada to Burns, Oregon, to object to the court's ruling. He said he believes the Lord has entrusted him with a divine mission to bring justice to the Hammonds.
I clearly understood that the Lord was not pleased with what was happening to the Hammonds. and that what was happening to them, if it was not corrected, would be a type and a shadow of what would happen to the rest of the people across this country.
But the Hammonds' lawyer says neither Bundy nor any of the other militiamen speak for their family. And despite the ongoing protest, Dwight Hammond says he and his son plan on reporting peacefully to prison on Monday.
That's all for our top stories. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Matlin.